Hello folks, Neville, I'm back, second time in a week. I did promise I was going to make more content and more videos, so you know what, X-Men 1 is probably a good enough topic to make a video for. So earlier today, a Yaffa copy, which is the Australian reprint copy of X-Men #1, sold for 1,300 Australian. I believe that's pretty much the record for what those books have ever gone for, which is great. It's great for foreign books, but it's also great for the profile of Australian books, really. Considering the fact that historically people associated Australian comics with Newton books, there's nothing wrong with that. There's some amazing Newton books. I am really happy though that the Yaffas, which probably came out 12 to 18 months after the Newtons, are enjoying some attention too, purely because of the fact that it's almost a different breed of book. So if you look at the Newtons, they came with posters and cards and all the extra bits and pieces that come with it, t-shirt transfers on the back, if I recall correct, for some of the later issues. That's all fine and well. Paper was shit ass. It was like newspaper print, so getting a high grade copy is always tough, even if you're in Australia. Whereas I think with the Yaffas, they were no mess, no fuss type comics. They were also magazine size, which is nice, black and white interiors. And in many cases, they would have added backup stories. So it's more 48 pages or 48 pages plus in content. So it would be X-Men 1 in X-Men 1 plus something else as a backup story. So yeah, it is good. It's good for us. And I feel like in many cases, the changes that were necessary to print Newton back in the day, you know, restrictions of colors on the covers and all that type of stuff, made them a little bit less appealing in my opinion. So what I will do today is actually show those two off side by side, and then just give a quick shout out to each of them. So the blue cover, this is X-Men #1 from Newton. It did come with a free poster and swap card. Mine doesn't have either because it's well loved. But you can also see the quirky recolors, like the yellow helmet, the green suit, Beast has gone brown. A little bit of everything's going on that cover. But also, as you can see, backup story was Avengers, so they threw the name on there. The cover just became really, really busy as a result of that. I do like the colors. It's quite striking. I mean, the original one's pretty plain with a white background, so it's not a bad looking book. But in my opinion, if you're looking at this cover with the striking yellow at the top, the orange there making the characters pop a bit more, Magneto in his original colors, it just looks a lot more classic, right? And I think people are starting to find that that's a lot more appealing than this in terms of color, cover and presentation. So, you know, if you're going to slab them or put them on display, this is likely the one I would do, even if I had both in high grade. So great copy. As you can see, it's a nice thick book. They're solid all around. They just feel a little bit more sturdy than the Newtons too. Mine's got a little touch up to take off the price point there. The price point was like 25 cents or whatever. But they're always usually complete because they didn't have the posters and the cutouts and all the pullouts and stuff like that. So when you do find a copy VG plus, it's usually worth the money. But look, $1,300, that's not the money I paid for mine, that's for sure. It's a good price point though. I must say it's a good value, and it's probably very promising for the foreign market, if anything, because I'm sure whoever bought that, it's going to go straight to CGC and hopefully it's featured on their pages. Talking about CGC, talking about X-Men, I've showed this off on Instagram before, and I've posted it on Facebook. I might have the world's ugliest X-Men one. Look at that. It's got looks like tape there, and the tape's colored out with black, so you don't necessarily see it. And I always wonder if I send it to a restorer, if they'll be able to pull that off and I can actually see the rest of the cover. And then you've got lots of black ink work around there, terribly trimmed at the top. It looks like it's cut with blunt scissors. And then somebody had a bit of a project happening at the bottom here. This looks like model paint, so the paint that you used to put on model airplanes, all that type of stuff. So it's like gloss enamel red, and then there's actually glitter sprinkled on top of it. So it's a very much a what the fuck comic. But it's a fun one to own because there's not many of them. There is a piece of plastic also stuck inside the comic, so that's actually inside. Don't know if it was damaged in transit or whatever, but it probably adds to the aesthetics of what this is, in the fact that it's a very, very poor grade. But you know what, it's so unique that I'll probably hold on to it for a while. Now the reason I'm showing this, I paid less for this back in the day, which is 3 years ago, than somebody just paid for this. So very promising for the foreign market, very promising for the profile of Australian comics. Always good to know and good to follow those prices just to understand the trends, right? Last one I'm going to show you is my other copy of X-Men 1. Now it is a 0.5 because it's missing the advert page. It's not in the worst shape ever, but I've seen photos of this copy on the CGC forums back before I owned it, because the person was selling it and wanting to know about the pens variant price points. So the fact that it's a pens variant, technically foreign, people don't perceive it like that, or not many people perceive it as being a foreign, just a pens variant. But yeah, great, slabbed in a halo slab. Now these slabs are fucking tough as nuts. They don't necessarily, people don't necessarily think they present as beautifully as CGC, but really when you have a 0.5, it's preservation more than anything for me. I just want to make sure nothing gets in there, and if I drop it, nothing's going to happen to it. So that is it. I'm going to try and keep my videos down to 7 to 10 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for watching this far, if you're still watching. I will post better photos on Instagram and usually on Facebook as well. But yeah, go Google Yaffa books and check out the Newton books. Foreign market's awesome. It's a great attention a great what do you call it? Fuck, what's that word? Great distraction. That's the right word. Great distraction from the same old that we tend to get if you know the American stuff in and out. So have a great time. Enjoy Googling them. And if you have any questions, just ask it in the comments and I'll see if I can reply and help you out. Have a nice day. Cheers.